Have you ever noticed how time seems to betray you exactly when you need it the most? One moment, everything feels under control, and then suddenly, the clock is racing, your heart is pounding, and it feels like you're losing grip. But here's the strange part. What if I told you that time itself isn't actually speeding up? What if the problem is you? Think about it. There are moments in your life where seconds feel like hours, a near accident, a crucial decision, that one conversation that could change everything. In those moments, something shifts, your awareness sharpens, your senses heighten, and time stretches. So why does that happen only sometimes? And more importantly, can you control it? The answer is yes, but not in the way you think. Most people believe time is fixed, rigid, untouchable. But your perception of time, that's flexible. It's deeply connected to your focus, your emotions, and the way your brain processes reality. And once you understand this, you unlock something most people never will: the ability to slow down your experience of time exactly when it matters. Let me show you something powerful. Have you ever been completely absorbed in something? Playing a game? Watching a movie? Talking to someone you're deeply connected with? Hours pass, and it feels like minutes. That's because your brain compresses time when you're in a state of flow. Now flip that. When you're overwhelmed, anxious, or under pressure, your brain does the opposite. It expands time. Every second feels heavier, longer, more intense. That's not random. That's a mechanism, a survival response. And here's where it gets interesting. You can trigger that expansion on purpose. But first, you need to understand why you keep losing time in the first place. Most people live on autopilot. They wake up, scroll, react, rush, repeat. Their attention is fragmented, scattered, pulled in 10 different directions at once. And when your attention is divided, your brain speeds everything up. It skips details. It rushes through moments. It makes life feel like it's slipping through your fingers. That's why weeks feel like days, and years feel like months. You're not losing time. You're losing presence. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine being fully locked into the moment. Every sound feels clearer. Every movement feels intentional. Every second feels stretched, controlled. That's where time slows down. And the key to accessing this state is surprisingly simple. Focus. But not just any focus. Intentional, deliberate, controlled focus. Let me break this down. Your brain processes thousands of pieces of information every second. But it doesn't treat all of them equally. It filters, it prioritizes, it decides what matters. And whatever it decides is important gets more attention. And when something gets more attention, time expands around it. That's why new experiences feel longer. When you travel somewhere new, everything feels richer, slower, more vivid, because your brain is processing more details, more information, more novelty. Now compare that to your daily routine. Same streets, same habits, same patterns. Your brain goes into efficiency mode. It stops paying attention. It compresses everything. And time disappears. So if you want to slow down time, you need to break that pattern. You need to force your brain to pay attention again. Here's how. Start with awareness. Right now, wherever you are, look around, really look. Notice the details you usually ignore. The texture of objects, the subtle sounds in the background, the way light hits different surfaces. When you do this, something shifts. Your mind slows down. Your perception deepens. That's step one. Step two is even more powerful. Control your breathing. When you're stressed or rushed, your breathing becomes shallow, fast, uncontrolled, and that signals your brain to speed things up even more. But when you slow your breath, everything changes. Try this. Inhale slowly for 4 seconds. Hold for 4. Exhale for 6. Do it again and again. Within moments, your heart rate drops, your mind clears, and time starts to stretch. This isn't just a trick. It's a direct way to influence your nervous system, to tell your brain, slow down, I'm in control. And when your brain believes that, your entire perception shifts. But there's another layer to this, one that most people completely overlook: your emotional state. Emotion is one of the strongest factors that shape how you experience time. Fear, excitement, curiosity, these amplify your awareness. They pull you into the present moment. And when you're fully present, time expands. That's why intense moments feel longer. So the question becomes, How do you create that intensity without chaos? The answer is engagement. You need to become deeply engaged with what you're doing, not passively, but actively. Challenge yourself. Push your limits. Introduce small elements of difficulty, because when something requires effort, your brain pays attention. And when your brain pays attention, time slows down. This is why athletes often describe moments where everything feels slower, clearer, more precise. They're not imagining it. They've trained their focus to such a level that their perception of time literally changes. And you can do the same, but it requires practice. It requires intention. It requires you to stop drifting through your days and start taking control of them. Let me give you something practical. The next time you feel rushed, don't fight the clock. Shift your state. Pause. Take a breath. Focus on one thing. Just one. And give it your full attention. You'll notice something almost immediately. The pressure eases, your mind stops racing, and suddenly you have more time than you thought. Not because time changed, but because you did. And this is where most people miss the point. They try to manage time externally, schedules, deadlines, productivity hacks, but the real control is internal. It's in how you experience each moment. Master that, and everything else follows. Now here's something even deeper. Your memory of time is just as important as your experience of it. Think about a year filled with routine. It feels like it disappeared. But a year filled with new experiences, challenges, growth feels long, full, meaningful. So in a way, slowing down time isn't just about the present. It's about how you build your life. If you want your days to feel longer, your life to feel richer, you need to seek novelty, growth, challenge. Because the more your brain has to process, the more time expands. And this is where everything connects. Focus, breathing, motion, engagement, novelty. These aren't separate ideas, they're parts of the same system, a system that controls how you experience reality itself. Ignore it, and time controls you. Understand it, and you control time. Now imagine what that means for your life. Imagine walking into important moments with complete clarity, no rush, no panic, just control. Imagine being able to stretch those critical seconds to think better, act better, perform better. That's not just useful. That's powerful. And it's something very few people ever master. But now you know. Now you see the pattern. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. So here's the real question. What are you going to do with this? Are you going to keep living on autopilot, letting time slip away without even noticing? Or are you going to take control, slow it down, and start experiencing your life the way it was meant to be experienced? Because the truth is simple. You don't need more time. You need more awareness. And once you have that, time stops being your enemy. It becomes your tool. Use it.